Can you hear me now, Robbie? Can you hear me now? Are you even still here? Can you hear me now? Hopefully you can. I think that's what it was. Can you hear me now, Robbie? I'm probably just talking my head off and no one was like wondering what's he saying. Robbie, can you hear me now? Robbie, can you hear me now? Robbie, can you hear me now? Oh, cool. He can hear me. Woohoo! Okay, we fixed that. That's cool. So, okay, I'm going to just go ahead and start all over because no one really heard me. So what at the beginning of the podcast where no one really could hear me what I was saying, I was talking about how the Lakers can avoid the play-in tournament because they would have to win their next game, which is, let me see here. Who's the Lakers' next game? Let's see here. The Lakers' next game is the Pelicans. But I think, if I'm correct, let's see if NBA starting light up. Let's see here. If I'm correct, Brandon Ingram and Zion is out, which will give... Oh, it's not ready. But which will give Lakers a better chance of winning. Then the Portland, they play Nuggets. So I think Lakers have a really, really good high chance of getting the 6th seed because, like I said, Portland has to lose and the Lakers would have to be win their game to get the 6th seed. And I hope the Lakers get the 6th seed to give LeBron and AD more of a rest. I'm hoping LeBron gets his 5th ring. Like I said, I'm not a LeBron fan nor a Lakers fan. I mean, I'm just cheering on LeBron because everyone's, hating on him, disliking him because he whines so much, complains so much, and says that he's so soft. And everyone's like, he wouldn't survive in Jordan's era. In my opinion, yes, he would survive in Jordan's era because just look how he's built. His body is built. He's so tough and muscular, and I think he would easily survive in that era with the bad boy Pistons and everything. But like I was saying, for the Lakers to get the 6th seed to avoid the play-ins, they would have to win tomorrow, and Portland would have to lose. Then I also mentioned how Memphis would have like a hard play-in game after San Antonio because they would either be playing the Lakers, Golden State, or Portland to whoever ends up winning that Lakers and Golden State game or the Golden State versus Portland series in the play-in tournament. I honestly don't see Memphis making it far into play-in or into playoffs, period, because if they end up losing, they'll either have to play Utah or Phoenix. I don't see them making it far. I don't see them winning at all, either against anybody. Then you have... then I also said Utah is basically the Houston Rockets because they do so well. I'm talking about like the Houston Rockets when James Harden was playing. Because I think, for me, they do so well in the regular season, but when it comes to playoffs, they end up choking when it comes to playoffs, the Utah Jazz. So that's why I'm calling the Utah Jazz the Houston Rockets this year's playoff team. I think they end up choking. I think they're the most overrated team in this year's playoff. I think the sleeper teams. I was like saw a video of someone talking about the most overrated teams, and they said Utah, Philly, and the Lakers. How is the Lakers the most overrated team when most of the season they were injured? Like, they were hit with like some serious injuries. Most of their main players didn't even play, and somehow they're still in the playoffs. I don't think the Lakers are like overrated. And who was the? Oh, I think they said Milwaukee was also the other overrated team. I can also see that because they basically got Giannis, and Giannis does all the work. And then I saw the most underrated teams were New York, Miami, Washington. All those three teams are really underrated going into this year's playoff team because when Miami's clicking, they're clicking. I think they have a good chance. When Miami's clicking, I think they can beat anybody in the East. I also think they can beat Brooklyn. I think Brooklyn's beatable. Everyone thinks that they're not beatable, but I honestly think they're beatable. I think the team that would honestly has a good chance of beating Brooklyn in the playoffs will be Miami or Philadelphia. Milwaukee, they just don't have enough players to help Giannis to beat Brooklyn. The Knicks, Knicks are young and scrappy. I think they still need to bring in a few more players to help Julius Randle. Don't get me wrong, the Knicks will do good in the playoffs. If they end up beating the Hawks, I think they'll end up playing the 76ers. But I don't see New York beating Brooklyn in a 7-game series. So, in my opinion, the only teams that has a good chance of beating Brooklyn will be Miami and the 76ers. But, who knows? Nothing's set in stone until next week because the play-ins start on May 18th. May 18th, so I'm excited to see who all goes when it comes to this. And hopefully I can bring in my cousin or David or heck, I might even bring in Robbie or Nick Horton to, come in, talk NBA. Whoever wants to before the playoffs start because my friend Robbie, he's a Lakers fan and I think he'll be a little biased if he's still in here. If I can pull up my word, because that's where I put all my notes at. Let's see here. Oh yeah, congrats to Russell Westbrook for passing Big O. Man, everyone's saying Russ isn't a top 5. He won't go down as a top 5 point guard, but I'm wondering why is that? Why is that? What makes you think that Russ won't go down as a top 5 point guard when he retires? Because look at the numbers. He's played for 3 teams: Oklahoma, Houston, and the Wizards. Each season, in OKC, he's averaged a triple double. In Houston, he almost averaged a triple double. And this season with the Wizards, he's averaging a triple double a game, and he's just putting up tremendous numbers. And he passed Big O at 182. Congrats to Russell Westbrook. I think Russell will go down as one of the top 5 point guards. He's one of my favorite point guards to watch just because he doesn't care about scoring. Like when he wants to score, he can score. He can get to the basket. He can get his points easy. But like to average the assist and the rebounds that he puts up at night is absolutely amazing. Like some nights he'll average 24 rebounds to like 15 assists, or 24 assists to like 13 rebounds. Like that's absolutely amazing for a point guard like him. Like he's just so explosive. Plus the thing also, he can play defense. Like when he wants to play defense, he can shut down that player that he's guarding easily. Like I remember Curry was averaging like 30 to 40 points in like 5 games, but when he played the Wizards, Russell Westbrook guarded him, and I think Curry only scored like 20 to 25 points. I don't even think he scored 25. I think he scored like 15 to 20 points, and he had like a really bad shooting game that day because Russell was guarding him. So I really want to hear why people don't have Russ in their top 5 of point guards. Robbie, you would not be biased when it comes. You know what? Me, you, and Nick one day need to, sit down and just talk sports. It can be NBA or NFL. It doesn't matter. Whatever you guys want to talk about, I don't mind talking with y'all. Let's see here. I already talked about Like I said, I already talked about that. Talked about the Lakers. Plus, for me, when it comes to the playoffs, the NBA need LeBron and Curry because you got young kids that starting to shoot the ball. They want to be like Curry because, Curry just dribbles up to the volleyball line or half court, full court, whatever. He doesn't care. He just pulls up, shoot a three, and just makes it. You got these little kids that wants to be him. So I think it's good to have Curry and LeBron to be in the NBA. I think it's good for the NBA to have Curry and LeBron, especially having LeBron because LeBron attracts a lot of people just because the way he plays, the number that he puts up in the playoffs because there's a saying, you got the regular season LeBron, which, hardly tries. He still puts up good numbers, but when it comes to playoffs, he's locked in. He's putting up tremendous numbers more than his regular season numbers because, if this playoff LeBron played in regular season, he would already have maybe 6 MVPs. He would already beaten Jordan in the MVP race. He would already be past Jordan. But there's always a saying about, there's always two sides of LeBron. But which there is. There's always two sides of LeBron because LeBron does have two sides because, like I said, he has the regular season LeBron, which somewhat hardly tries in the playoffs in regular season until it gets near the end of the season so it can secure a top seed in the West. Robbie, you think the Suns are a very underrated team coming into the playoffs? I agree. I think the Suns are a very underrated team. A very underrated team going into the playoffs. That's why I'm wanting LA to avoid the play-in because if LA gets the 6 seed, they end up playing Denver, and I think they'll beat Denver because Jokic won't be able to guard LeBron and AD for a 7-game series. So that's why I'm hoping Lakers get a play-in, and to whoever plays Phoenix, they can lose. They can beat in the first round, so Phoenix can move on. I would love to see Phoenix win the first round, but I don't want them to beat the Lakers. I don't see them. I think they can take the Lakers to 6 games, Robbie. I honestly, truly do. I think Phoenix can take the Lakers to 6 games, but I think the Lakers would end up winning that series if they do play Phoenix. I hate that. If the Lakers honestly did not make the playoffs this year, I would honestly be cheering for Phoenix or Golden State or Dallas because I would love to see Luka do something in the playoffs. Excuse me. I would love to see him, go off. I feel like we still haven't seen the Luka magic in the playoffs yet. I feel like he can give that more to us. But overall, I hope Lakers avoid the play-in tournament so they can get that 6th seed and they don't end up playing Phoenix in round 1 because I honestly wouldn't know who to cheer for because, like I said, I want the Lakers to win. I want LeBron to win his 5th ring. But at the same time, I would love to see Chris Paul get his first ring. I would love to see Devin Booker to get a ring out of his young age. That would honestly be a hard series for me to pull in the West, Robbie. Then James Harden made his return win against the Spurs. He posted 18 points, 11 assists, and 7 rebounds, and I think he came off the bench too, so that's very impressive. Brooklyn would probably be the number 1 seed if everyone was healthy and didn't sit a lot of games. But, injuries did happen. Kyrie took some time off sometimes. Harden got hurt toward the end of the season, so he was out a couple of games. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the big three for Brooklyn plays in a tournament, because we officially haven't watched or saw how they all three play together, because Kyrie's either sat out for something, Katie's either resting, trying to heal his Achilles more, or Harden's either trying to not get hurt anymore, or coming back from his injury. But still, that's very interesting that Harden came off the bench to almost record a triple-double against the Spurs. But, of course, it's the Spurs, which is in the play-in in the West, so you really couldn't tell. But I'm excited to see what the Brooklyn's Big Three end up doing in the playoffs when it comes to the playoffs. Because I think, like I said, it will be either Brooklyn versus Philly in the Eastern Conference Finals, or it's going to be Miami will end up beating Brooklyn in the second round of the Eastern in the Eastern playoffs. That's my opinion. It's either going to be Brooklyn, like I said, Brooklyn or Philly, or Miami will end up beating Brooklyn in round 2. That's my prediction as of right now. I'll come back before the play-ins happen. I might, come back, talk NBA playoffs when, the play-ins are over. Excuse me, I got hiccups. When the play-ins are done and over with. Now, if I can somehow find there we go. Maybe this will help me. Like the rewards. Okay, so I don't know why that popped up. I just agreed to it. But let's go with MVP. My last podcast, I talked about Jokic will be my MVP for this season, because the number he's putting up, and I think there was like a 9-game stretch that the Nuggets won, if I'm correct. And I was like, it's pretty impressive that they're still winning without Jamal Murray. But at the same time, Michael Porter Jr. has also been balling out. So I would hope Jokic wins MVP this year. He deserves it. If he doesn't, it's basically a LeBron player all over again. I think the last center that's won MVP was Shaq, if I'm correct. So I would love to see another center win an MVP, and I hope it's Jokic to win MVP. Let's see. Defensive Player of the Year. Bam. For me, it's going to be either Bam or Ben Simmons. My prediction is Ben Simmons, because whoever Ben guards really doesn't end up having a good game. Probably having a terrible game. I honestly think Ben Simmons is the Player of the Year. Well, not Player of the Year. Defense Player of the Year, as I should say. He might not be a good offensive scorer, but he is tremendous on the defense side of the ball when it comes to playing defense against the top scorers in the league. Rookie of the Year, I still think it's going to be LaMelo, even though he was hurt for like a month. But I still think LaMelo ends up winning Rookie of the Year over Anthony Edwards. Yes, Anthony Edwards is putting up, decent points this year for his rookie year. But for me, if LaMelo wasn't on the Hornets, I don't think the Hornets would have made. Wait, are they in the playoffs? NBA? Are they in the? Are they in? No. Oh, okay. They're in a play-in. For me, if it wasn't for LaMelo, the Hornets wouldn't be in the play-in situation right now. I think if LaMelo wasn't on the Hornets wouldn't be in the play-in situation. But I think LaMelo deserves it, because he's having a better rookie year than his brother, and his brother had more hype coming out of college than LaMelo did. So for me, rookie of the year has to go to LaMelo Ball. I hope he gets it, because I'm kind of starting to turn into a LaMelo Ball fan, just because he's young. He's a good passer. I think he's a better passer than his brother. there's some games that he's almost an average of triple-double. He's scoring a lot better than Lonzo did when Lonzo came out of college. So for me, rookie of the year goes to LaMelo Ball. Coach of the year, of course, I would have to agree with this. It has to go to Utah's Snyder's. I think he deserves it because, the way Utah played in the regular season. Like I said, Utah is really good when it comes to regular season. But when it comes to playoffs, they're the Houston Rockets. They somehow end up falling apart or finding a way to choke in the playoffs. But for Coach of the Year, I would have to agree. Utah Snyder would have to be the Coach of the Year prediction for me. Sixth man of the year, Jordan Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson for the Utah Jazz. He is filling in for Donovan Mitchell right now, and he is putting up really, really good numbers since Donovan Mitchell has been absent for the Utah Jazz. I think he's posting I think he's scored 30, 40 points a game since for the last 3 games. I think he's been hurt. So for me, I would have to agree. Jordan Clarkson deserves 6th man of the year just to way he's played this year, come off the bench for Utah. He's been a really good player for Utah coming off the bench, and when he comes off the bench, he gives Utah more of a spark off the bench. He's mainly Utah's bench scorer because he can come off the bench either really, really hot, shooting 5 to 6 threes a game and making them, and averaging 20 to 25 points off the bench. So for me, it's the most improved player award. I can't remember if they do that still. I know they used to, but if they still do, for me, it should be Michael Porter Jr., of course, just because last year he was averaging 10 to 15 points a game, but the only time he was starting to go off was the NBA playoffs and the bubble. But this year he's actually took a step into the regular season. In the regular season, he was averaging 20 points a game. Then when Jamal Murray went down, he's averaging 25 points a game now. Almost 8 rebounds, almost double digits in rebounds. So for me, most improved player would have to go to just Michael Porter Jr. What? Adults just coming in here out of nowheres, trying to ruin your podcast. I'm just joking. But before I start talking Tennessee, because I got some notes on Tennessee, even though there's probably no one in here that likes Tennessee to watch me, but that's fine. To whoever watches this, they can go over it and listen to me. I want to look up. Let's see. I'm going to look up the Chargers NFL schedule if I learn how to type. We're going to talk about the Chargers 2021 schedule. Let's see here. Let's see if I can go to images. I'm trying to find an actual schedule. Is this it? I'm trying to click on it. Nope, that's not it, because our game 2 is Dallas. Our game 2 is Dallas. Let me see here. Is this it? No, that's not it. I just want our schedule. Oh, wait. Okay, there it is. Ha ha! Found our... Nope, I'm just joking. I did not find our schedule. I'm just joking. I did not find our schedule, even though I'm trying to find our schedule. Dude, I'm just trying to find a schedule, dude. Dude, I'm just trying to find a schedule. Let's see. Dude. I'm just trying to find our schedule so I can go over it. Aha! Okay, week 1. I don't know why everyone is counting us out against Washington. Yes, Washington has a really good defensive team. They have a really good young defensive end out of Young. But everyone I've saw post on TikTok is always counting us out against Washington. I don't know why people has us losing against Washington. I don't think Fitzmagic puts on his magic against us. I think our defense has gotten better in the draft. I'm not going to say it's improved a lot, but I think we've added some much needed pieces. Remember, there's a lot last year that we lost a lot of games by 1 point because either our field goal kicker missed or we just couldn't close out in the fourth quarter. So for me, I think we win against Washington personally week 1 because Justin Herbert coming in second season, rookie year, had a really good rookie year, won rookie of the year. Congrats to Herbert. I love Herbert. I'm glad that we drafted Herbert. That's the quarterback I honestly wanted when it came to last year's draft. But for me, I think we end up beating Washington week 1. Week 2, we play home against Dallas week 2. We're going to go against a really, really good offense in the Dallas Cowboys because Dallas has a Dak Prescott. They have a good receiving core in CeeDee Lamb, Gallup, and Cooper. Then, of course, they got Zeke in the backfield and also Pollard. So, for me, it just depends on how Dallas's defense ends up playing because last year Dallas's defense was terrible. Like, it was probably one of the worst in the league. The only way Dallas had a win last year was basically for them to score 50 to 60 points a game because Dallas's defense coordinator last year was absolutely horrible. But this year in the offseason they signed the Falcons ex-head coach Quinn. I think Quinn will be a much improved on the defense side of the ball for the Dallas Cowboys. I think he'll help the Dallas. I think he'll help Dallas defense this year. I think that's going to be a good game. I'm not going to say who's going to win or lose because, of course, I like to watch Dallas play. I like to watch Dallas win, but at the same time, I'm a Chargers fan. I want Chargers to win. I want the Chargers to win all the games so, they can make the playoffs and hopefully make the Super Bowl. Then week 3, we got Kansas City. I think, last year we almost beat Kansas City at Kansas City. But then we just couldn't stop Patrick Mahomes in the fourth quarter. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. But like I said, we just couldn't stop Patrick Mahomes in the fourth quarter. Herbert was young. I think it was Herbert's first game against Kansas City last year in Kansas. At the end, not at the end, but he threw an interception in the fourth quarter that cost us. But at the same time, the play calling was horrible last year. There's some calls I did not agree with, but I'm glad that we got rid of him. I really didn't like him as our coach. I was hoping that we would fire him, and I'm glad we did. But I think we lose week 3 against Kansas City. Week 4, we play Oakland at home. I think we win against Oakland. Of course, Oakland has a good running back out of Josh Jacobs. They got some. They got a young receiving core out of. I can't remember who their receivers were. Who was it? It's not Judy. It's one of the. It's a former Alabama receiver. But I think we end up winning week 4 against the Raiders because I honestly don't think. I think this year will be a make or break, or the year after this will be a make or break for John Gruden because I just don't think John Gruden is cut out for the NFL. I think for me personally, he should have stayed in the NFL. Not NFL, in the booth because he was excellent. I loved him in the booth, but for me, he should have stayed in the booth and not be a coach. Then we move on to week 5. We play the Browns. I think we lose against the Browns. I think we lose the Browns at home because the Browns have improved their defense by signing Clowney with a healthy Odell Beckham Jr., which is working on his speed, which getting back into shape. From what I'm seeing, he is, looking like his prime self when he was playing for New York. So for me, I think we lose to Cleveland. Week 6. I think we win against Baltimore. Baltimore's defense ain't that great. I think as long as you stop Lamar from running, I think as long as our defensive line can keep Lamar in the pocket keep him from running, I think we can honestly win against the Ravens. Because really, I think that's all you got to do. If you stop Lamar, if you stop his run game, just make him stay in the pocket, make him throw it. I think you end up winning that game. So for me, I think our defensive line or defense gets the job done, period. So I think for me, we beat Baltimore. I think we win against New England. I think we'll be playing Mac Jones at the time. For right now, they say it's not going to be it's going to be Cam Newton right now. But I think Mac Jones will end up starting probably somewhere midweek for New England. So I think we'll end up going against Mac Jones. So I think we winning against New England. Week 9 we're going against Philly. I think we beat Philly also. I don't. Jalen Hurts is good. But I think we end up beating Philly. Even I can't remember. Did they draft a QB this year? I can't remember. I think they drafted they drafted Devontae Smith from Bama to help Hurts out for more weapons. But I still think we beat Philly in Week 9. Week 10, will we be either playing Kirk Cousins, a really hot Kirk Cousins, or will can't say Kirk Cousins' name. Will we be either playing Mons from Texas A&M, who they drafted this year, or will we be playing Kirk Cousins? It depends which Kirk Cousins comes out for this season. I think we end up that game is a toss-up for me as of right now. I got but when the season starts, and when I'm still doing my podcast, I'll just do a review on Saturday night or Saturday to how I feel about going into Sunday on the games that we play. So for right now, for me on Week 10, it's a toss-up because I don't know who will be end up playing. Then Week 11, Robbie, will be end up playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. Robbie, how good is Pittsburgh going to be this year? Like, I don't know if you're still in here, Robbie, but I want to know, how good will Pittsburgh be this year? Even though, James Conner did leave. He went to the Cardinals. Everyone's going to the Cardinals for some reason. What's so good about the Cardinals? Like, everyone wanted to go to Arizona for some reason this year. But, Pittsburgh's always had a good defense. I think last year it was offense for them, in my opinion, Robbie. That's my opinion, Robbie. I think for last year it was the offense for them. I think there was sometime Big Ben struggled to get the ball down the field. For me, I don't think Juju is a receiver type 1. I don't think he needs to be a receiver. I think for me, Juju is like a receiver 2 for me. I think you guys needed to go out and get a receiver 1 to help Juju, to take off the pressure off of Juju, because for me, Juju just doesn't pass as a receiver 1, as a go-to for me. Then Week 2 is going to be interesting because, hold on, Robbie answered back. Pittsburgh is going to win the division, in my opinion. Oh, so you think Pittsburgh is going to win over Cleveland and Baltimore? I honestly, Robbie, I think Cleveland wins your guys' division this year. Because Cleveland's defense, I think Cleveland's defense is better than last year. I think they've improved. I think Baker will improve. I think we'll see a really good, healthy Odell Beckham Jr. this year. I hope Odell does well. Because from what I'm seeing, from what I'm hearing, is Odell is going back to basically playing like his old self when he was in New York. So for me, Robbie, I think Cleveland wins your guys' division. I think you guys come in second. But I think it just all depends on Big Ben for me. Because I think Big Ben is, yes, he's getting old, but I think for me, he just can't get the ball down the field. Because when Phillip Rivers was playing for us, he had a hard time slinging the ball like he used to in the young days. I mean, he could still, sling it down like, 50 to 60 yards, but he had a trouble slinging it 50 to 60 yards. So for me, I think Big Ben's getting what Phillip Rivers was, Robbie. I think Big Ben is what holding you guys back. I think you guys Robbie said the only team that might challenge us is the Browns, but I feel like it's the Browns, so they will brown it up. But like I said, Robbie, I think the Browns win your guys' division. I think you guys are going to make a wild card, because when Big Ben's playing good, you guys play good, of course. But like I was saying, Week 12 is going to be interesting. Because does Denver get Aaron Rodgers before the NFL season start? Because Denver and, was it Denver and Oakland? I can't remember. I think it was Denver and Oakland that has the two best odds of trading for Aaron Rodgers. And I don't want to play Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes twice every year, because you're going against a GOAT versus a baby GOAT. So for me, Week 12 is going to be interesting. Excuse me. Because if they don't trade for Aaron Rodgers, I think we end up beating Denver. Of course, Denver has a really good defense. I think in fantasy, I might draft Denver's defense if all the other good defense is good, already taken away, because they have a really good linebacker core out of A.J. Johnson. A.J. Johnson came from Tennessee. I'm not being biased or anything, but Denver's defense they're not bad. I think they're good. But for me, Week 12 is going to be interesting. Like I said, it depends if they get Aaron Rodgers. Because if they end up getting Aaron Rodgers, I think we lose the first game against Denver. Because Aaron Rodgers will have a lot more weapons than he does. He'll have a young receiving core out of Judy and Sutherland. Then, of course, you got Melvin Gordon Jr. So, for me, Aaron Rodgers has a lot more weapons than he does in Green Bay. Because in Green Bay, he has Jones and Devontae Adams. But for me, like I said, it just Week 12 all depends on if Denver trades and gets Aaron Rodgers. Week 13, I think we easily win against Cincinnati. Week 14, we play Daniel Jones. I think we beat New York. Week 15, we play Kansas City. It's a Thursday night football game. Nice. Week 15. I think we still won. I think we still won in Week 15 from Kansas. Week 16, I think we win against Houston, because we know Deshaun Watson won't even be playing this year, most likely, with everything that's happened to him. He just had a terrible offseason. So I think we win against Houston. I think we take one from Denver. And I think we win one against Oakland. So overall, I think we go 1-1, 1-2, 2-2, 2-3, 3-3, 4-3, 5-3. You know what? 6-3, 7-3, 7-4, 8-4, 9-4, 9-4. I'll say I'll go 10-4, 11-4, 12-4. So I think we win 13 games this year. For me, I think the Chargers win 13 games. But that's as of right now. OTAs is about to start up. Rookie mini camps is going along right now, and I'm excited. I've been watching up because we drafted a receiver from Tennessee, and I'm stoked to have him on our team. I think I'm going to go buy one of his jerseys when I get the money because I think Palmer will thrive in this offense. I think he'll help. I think he'll learn a lot from Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, in my opinion. But right now, I think we win 13 games. But, that can change when it comes to the season. Because I want to keep my eye out on preseason. Because I want to see how we are. So I'll come back to the schedule at the end of before season. And I'll go over everything. So that's about it for NFL and NBA wise. Then I'll probably just talk about Tennessee, because really, honestly, I'll probably bring, if Robbie is down, I'll probably, bring, Robbie or David or someone in, just talk about football coming up or the playoffs coming up. I might bring in my cousin to talk, ask him some questions about the Cowboys because he's a huge Cowboys fan, which he is starting up his podcast here soon. So, you guys making sure you guys go follow him. I don't know what his podcast name is going to be yet, so I'll make sure to let you guys know. But for me, I'm excited to see where the playoffs go. And I'm excited for this NFL season. I think this NFL season is going to be really exciting to watch because I think the Dolphins will be really good this year with Tua because, there's some games that Tua, I don't even know what I'm saying about. I didn't even watch the Dolphins. But there is some, I think the Dolphins will improve this year with Tua. They did give Tua some help with Waddle. But I think the most underrated team going into NFL this year will be the Dolphins. Underrated. I hope the Dolphins end up doing well. I'll be down, but it would have to be a Friday or Saturday. Robbie, that's fine with me, man. I'm down to do a podcast with you and Nick, talk about NFL or NBA. I am down to bring you one of you guys on. But now let's hop into this next couple of minutes, talk about Tennessee. I know Robbie's going to leave because, Robbie is a huge Bama fan, and Bama will honestly roll over us this year like they always do. But, I was scrolling through Twitter this week, and there was a picture I saw. It said, is Josh Heupel under pressure his first season as a Tennessee head coach? And like I said, under pressure. And it was like he was like 13 out of 15. For me, how is he under pressure in his first season as a head coach? Because he basically took over a garbage of a program under Pruitt, because Pruitt basically sent McDonald bags to players, to recruits, that's why Henry To'oTo'o, Eric Gray, and everyone else, that's why they transferred and left, because those players were the main players that got paid to come to Tennessee, because Henry To'oTo'o, he wanted to go to Bama. He was Bama lock until we dropped the bag on him. Well, not we, but Pruitt dropped the bag, a McDonald's bag, if I should say, on Henry To'oTo'o. So for me, Josh Heupel is not under pressure season 1, year 1 as a coach. I think for me, to be under pressure would probably be year 3 or year 4. Year 4 the most. Year 3, But it was 13 out of 15 for the most pressure. Like I said, Josh Heupel took over a really, really bad program. He basically took over a team that was basically treated as soldiers, as the football team, as a boot camp. Like, there was no fun. It was all, grinding and no fun, just no family, no bonding, as I should say. But for me, they got a message. But for me, Josh Heupel brings what Pruitt didn't have. He brings fun, he brings, laughter, he brings bonding. Because what I heard last year, when Pruitt was, as the head coach, he basically treated every practice as a military camp. No fun, no laughing, straight, serious, no bonding at all. That's what I heard. For me, Josh Heupel is not under pressure year one, because you got to look what he came into. You came in with maybe small NCAA violations with cheating and everything, but I don't think we get penalized as hard as everyone thinks, because we did the right thing. We got rid of Pruitt. We got rid of everyone else that cheated also. We took care of business. We cleaned slate, and we hired someone for clean slate. So for me, he's not under pressure year one, just because what he came into, and he has to build his own, he has to build his own team, and to gain trust of the players that was on the team. From what I'm seeing and hearing, the players love him. The players are buying into Heupel. So for me, that's really good news if you're a Tennessee fan. Because Velvis Jones Jr. says Heupel was his guy. And I'm honestly happy to hear, they're having fun again, and they're just having a good time, because there's a lot of videos of them, just having a good time, laughing, joking. There's smiles on their face. As long as you're having fun, that's all that matters to me. As long as you're winning games and having fun, that's all that matters to me. But no, Josh Heupel is not under pressure in in year one. Then moving on to the baseballs. The base, like I said in my last podcast, Tennessee is playing Arkansas this week. And I said it was going to go to full capacity. And all the videos saw this week, the stadium is packed, jam-packed. It's only standing room only. We are like I said, let me see here. I wrote down what our record is when it comes to Checker Neyland. Let's see here. I'm trying to think. I don't think I wrote down it. I think we are. I can't remember, but we are positive now in not Checker Neyland, but just checkered out any stadiums that we play in, because today we checkered out Lindsey Nelson and we won. What a game. That was like the umpire screwed over our pitcher because he was doing so well. Then it came to the sixth inning. The umpire was just not calling the good calls that he needed, which gave Arkansas a momentum. Like I said, I predicted in my last podcast, the game going to Sunday to see who wins the series. I think Tennessee ends up beating Arkansas tomorrow to take number one in the East to beat Arkansas. This series has honestly been so fun to watch. I think they should have already won the series, but yesterday they blew it. We just couldn't hit nothing when Arkansas brought in their probably their second best pitcher on the team, their closing pitcher. We just couldn't hit nothing. Every time we would hit it, it's either seemed like it's going to be a home run and it's going to be caught for an out. So for me, we should already won the series, but we just couldn't hit nothing yesterday, because every time we would hit the ball, it would always seem like I said, it was always going to be a home run, but it wouldn't. The wind wouldn't pick it up to carry it. So the wind was basically dead yesterday. It wouldn't help us at all. But today we bounced back. We won. We took a 2-0 lead. Then we took a 3-0 lead. Then Arkansas took over in the sixth. Well, Arkansas basically took over from 6 to the ninth inning. Then when it comes bottom of the ninth, it was 8-6 lead, Arkansas. Then we got 2 on the base real quick. Then Max Ferguson, the guy, the man, the myth, the legend for today's game, hit a walk-off home run. I was absolutely sitting at work watching the game, and it's just dead quiet. Everyone's just on their phones because it's dead. It's It's low. I'm just watching the game too. And next thing you know, boom, Max Ferguson hits a walk-off home run. I scream. I was like, let's go. We beat Arkansas and everything. So I was stoked. I was stoked to beat Arkansas today. It was a fun game to watch today. Like, we have the best offense in the SEC, but we're going against the best defense in the SEC, which is Arkansas. So no matter what, tomorrow's games, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. So for me, I think we end up beating Arkansas and taking the series and taking over being number one in the SEC. Then sometime during this week, I can't remember when it was, Tennessee moved their home opener. It was on Saturday, and it was a noon game to a night game on Thursday, which I'm excited for because, excuse me, I got the hiccups. Because I'm excited. I'm excited to see how our team plays at a night game. Everyone's hating it because they moved it to a Thursday night. But for me, that's a good idea. That's a good way to draw attention to you because most of the recruits on Saturday, they'll end up be watching the other programs, that's recruited him harder than Tennessee is right now because, Josh Heupel came in and he's just now getting his foot, settled in recruiting. So for me, moving the game to Thursday is an excellent idea. It's a great idea because you'll have everyone, because there's only really two major games, which is ECU versus Appalachian State. Then, of course, you got Tennessee versus Bowling Green. So, for me, that's a really good idea to move their game to Thursday because you'll have everybody watching you. You'll have, the recruits watching you. It's a night game. So, hopefully, for me, I'll be there because I got the Vol Pass. I think I'll be at all the home games this year, hopefully. But for me, moving the game to Thursday night is an excellent move for me. It's an excellent marketing idea, or it's just excellent overall. I'll just say that. Then, for me, I think we win 5 to 6 games this year. 7 if lucky. I think when summer camp starts and before the season starts, I'll do my season predictions on who I think will beat, who I think will lose to when it comes to toward the beginning of the season. But for me overall, I hope everyone is having a good Sunday night. Like I said, the podcast will be rocky. Like I said, it's just a beginning. I hope everyone enjoys it. I hope everyone is having a good week. And I hope everyone has a good Sunday tomorrow. Like I said, and I'll keep saying it, it's a journey. And the more I do it, the more comfortable I'll be, the better I'll get when it comes to podcasts, the more I'll learn how to do a podcast, and the more stuff I'll do when it comes to this. But like I was saying, hope everyone has a good Saturday night, rest of their Saturday night, even though it's like 10 o'clock at night. But hope everyone has a good Saturday night, and hope everyone has a good Sunday. But as of right now, I'll see y'all later.